Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Yes We Can podcast. I'm your host, Kira Andersen. I'm excited today for you to hear the story of the gentleman that's on the show, Rocky. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I heard, I saw you on the Zach and Pat show. So there's another, right next door, a couple guys have their own podcast. It's definitely like a man's podcast situation.
Yeah, it definitely is. I love those guys, though. They're awesome.
They're the best.
Yeah.
So if any men are on here, which there are very few men followers, I would definitely recommend looking for Zach and Pat's show.
Yeah, they got me. That might have been some of the most vulnerable stuff I talked about on that show. By the end of it, it was pretty deep.
Yeah, they do. They tend to do that.
Yeah.
Awesome guys. So
I mean, we cried probably 2 or 3 times on there.
Oh yeah, bring on the tears.
It was in depth for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for coming on. So we'll first start. Who are you? Are you from here? Like who? Give us an opening here.
So no, I'm not from here. I'm actually from Maine.
Maine? Where in Maine?
Lewiston, Auburn.
Where's that?
Do you know much about Maine at all?
My brother he used to live up there.
Really?
The lake house.
It's like 45 minutes outside Augusta.
Okay, my brother's in Portland.
Yeah, Portland's not far as well from where we're at, so it's kind of all in the same area up there.
Nice.
Portland would be LL Bean. We used to go to LL Bean all the time
right.
when we were younger.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I honestly, it was probably one of my favorite places on planet Earth. I can't wait to I eventually have a goal. Most people, Joy thinks it's not. She doesn't know yet because she hasn't been there yet. But Cape Cod up in Mass, just the whole East Coast, Rhode Island, everything up there is I absolutely love it.
I hear it's stunning.
It is, and it's cold. I get it, but it's just unbelievable. My love for boats and love for the ocean and everything came from being in Maine.
Well, you were born and raised there.
I know, for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna go this summer. My brother still has a lake house up there. All our family's gonna go meet up there and build a house on the lake.
I fell in love with boats up there.
Yeah.
And my older sister fell in love with training dolphins. She's a dolphin trainer at SeaWorld right now. She has been for about 25 years.
I mean, how cool is that?
Right. So 2 or 3 of us fell in love with the ocean like that. My younger sister, obviously, she loves the ocean, but not like we do.
She's not training dolphins.
No, none of us are.
How many are there of you?
There's 3 of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So older sister, younger sister.
Okay.
Yep.
So we moved here when I was 11, and it wasn't really a move that my dad had a very successful business in Maine.
Okay.
But my mom had a pituitary tumor. Her whole family lived here.
Pituitary tumor.
Yeah.
Cancerous?
So it was. So they did chemo. They came here, did chemo. She's had chemo twice, but she's also had a surgery where they would the first time it happened, I don't remember. It was we were really young age, and my parents, I think I was 5, 6 maybe.
Where was the tumor?
So in her pituitary gland in her head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and she was born with it. I mean, some people are benign. You know, hers really affected her life. When we were younger, so we came here to visit when we were really young. We always come here to visit though, because my mom's family's from Cape Girardeau.
Okay.
And then everybody kind of got older and they kind of moved to St. Louis. But the best doctors for her treatment was at Barnes. So the first time they came here, they cut her face from here to here and they flip it up, and they go in.
That sounds traumatic.
It was very traumatic, and now obviously technology's come a long way. The first surgery I was 6, so I'm 44, so it was 39 years ago, 38 years ago.
Good math.
Then the next one is that's a weird problem I have. I just spit off numbers and get
Great.
them.
No, we're good.
Then the second time it happened, I was in, I don't know, 8th or 9th grade, something like that.
Like it came back?
Yeah. So they can't cut it all the way out, because if they cut it all the way out, it could cut off her memory. There's a bunch of stuff they could do. So it actually hasn't grown back, though. They've done a really good job keeping it where it was, but they had to do a second surgery with it the exact same way, flip her face up and do that. But if I remember as us, it was so traumatic that,
Of course.
when I would go, I'm a mama's boy completely all the way through.
Aww.
And when I saw her, when we got to go see her, this time, because we didn't see her as a kid, they packed all this stuffing up in her nose, and she didn't even look human almost. It didn't look like her, and I couldn't handle it. I was super sad. So then my grandma took us to the mall, And so, see, it's already got me almost crying at the beginning of this episode.
There's Kleenex if you need it.
We go to the mall, and then she just asked me where I came from, and this is where it came out.
I know, yeah.
But we went to the mall, and there used to be like a place where you get these beaded bracelets, and I made my grandma buy one that has my name, my sister's name, my other sister's name on it, and we were gonna wait until she got better, and we get there. Yeah, for my mom, and we brought it in that day, and my grandma and my sisters and everybody was like, we should wait till she remembers and does that. And I'm like in tears. And I was like, no. And I put it on her wrist right then and there till she woke up with it on.
I love that.
And it was very, very hard. But because of those reasons, my dad moved us to St. Louis because her treatment place and the people that could do her surgeries and everything like that were here. Her family was here. And that was really hard on him because like he had goals and aspirations and different things he wanted to do up here. And then he moved here where he didn't know anybody. Got a job because he's a mechanical and architectural engineer. So then he got a job, and just wasn't ever the same as far as, when you have, he was established. They had developed these greenhouses that were about to start implanted all over the country. Now, obviously, he got paid out well. That's why we were able to make the move we did. But I know that was a big dream of his that never kind of got fulfilled on there.
Yeah, health, they say you have nothing if you don't have your health. And it's so true.
But watching him selflessly move across the country just for his wife was, something I'll never forget.
Amazing example.
Yeah, something I'll never forget, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So we moved here when I was younger. Hockey was a big part of my life.
Okay.
That's where, it started in Maine. My first friends came from that sport. Played through high school, played through college.
Where'd you go to college?
University of Missouri, St. Louis. Awesome. So I went to UMSL.
Okay.
Division II college. Most people didn't even realize we had a hockey team, but we actually had a really, really good hockey team. Then my senior year, that program was basically failing. Not the school, but the hockey team. We had one more season left. All my friends and my coaches actually started Lindenwood's hockey program.
Awesome.
So that was like all my teammates were the very first team that was over at Lindenwood, and now Lindenwood's program's become awesome. Now we got an NCAA Division I, a D2 team, an NCAA Division I women's, D2 women's. Like we have
women's hockey.
Oh yeah.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, we have a really good women's hockey team over there.
Are you? Wow.
So now I coach in the same league that I played in.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I stopped playing, pickup league and stuff like that. After you got out of college, you're just burnt out for a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Then I went back and I was the head coach of Francis House Central's varsity team for 5 years.
Okay.
And then a good buddy of mine, Gary Gardner, reached out to me and we were just having a conversation and he's like, come on over and coach with me. And I've been over there for 11 years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What an awesome outlet and like something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Right? Like I can only imagine.
And we won the national title last year.
Wow.
So
congratulations.
Thank you. This year we got knocked out in regionals, but this year was really hard. We were the number one team in the country. Didn't even lose a regular season game, and then we lost last week and it took us out of the tournament, which was tough. It's one and done. That's the way playoffs is. But last year we won.
Awesome.
It was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my life. Besides my daughter being born, just because we worked so hard and so many hours, and winning a state championship is awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like you're the top of the top. But when you play against the country, that was a feeling I can't even describe.
I totally understand.
It was crazy.
I've never taught varsity or anything, but I lived in Northern California in my 20s, and I taught I helped coach cheerleading, and our little girls, they were the cutest things ever. We made it to nationals. And
That's
I remember
awesome.
them being on stage at Disney World, and we actually made it to nationals because the other team that it was one of us was going to go. The other team had enough penalties that we actually were the ones that was selected to go, which was a surprise for us. So we had to get all these little girls to freaking Disney World in a week and a half or something. I don't remember.
That's crazy.
But I remember them up on stage, and I am just bawling the whole time.
Yeah.
I could not hold it in because you're just so proud of them. They've been working so hard, and here they are on stage, competing for a title that you never thought they'd be competing for. Ooh.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that
it's a cool experience.
Yeah,
That's for sure. They still do that in Disney World. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, no. So that was 10 years, over 10 years ago.
I would bet they still do.
Yeah.
But I know I had another friend that had a daughter that cheered, and they went out to Disney World for nationals, and I was like, that's crazy that it's out there for that.
And I remember I did it a few seasons, and then I was like, I think I should pull back because I want to like have enough energy to coach my children.
Yep.
And now I'm like, whenever they're asking for coach volunteers, I'm like, yeah, no, nope, too busy.
Yeah, and here's another thing too. So like, even my daughter plays soccer, and she wants to get into volleyball. A lot of parents coach their kids. I just don't think I'll ever do it. I've been asked, and I should have, if I was going to do it, have been at a younger age, because at this point, like, she's 12, going to 7th grade. Now it's time to like be really coached, because I'm not a soccer player. I mean, I could put it together if I needed to, but not to coach them.
Totally.
But I just enjoy watching from the sidelines.
Right.
And
it's the best.
There's so much politics in kids' sports that it's crazy. You watch these parents argue on the sidelines, yelling at the refs.
I know.
I don't do any of that stuff.
It's so serious, and I don't know if
so
it's
serious.
just St. Louis. Like, I'm from Nebraska, and obviously it's been a while since I've 41 years old. But from what I can tell here in St. Louis, it is so competitive.
Everything is. It's crazy.
And I'm like, these are little children. These are kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my little daughter made Gallagher, the soccer team, and we did, I don't know, 1 or 2 seasons, and we had 1 practice a day or a week, and 1 practice or 1 game. And I'm like, that's suitable. That's doable.
Right.
And then now like, they're leveling up, and it's more practices, more game. And I'm like, she's 8.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not doing this.
Well, and it's all sports across the board, meaning like when we were younger, that's what my select teams practice 1-2 days a week.
Of course.
But if you're doing that now, you're not getting enough playing time, because there's kids right now that are in her grade that are practicing 3 to 4 days a week and have 2 games on the weekend. Now they're burning the kids out.
Right.
But also those same kids that don't get burnt out are the kids that turn into college athletes and turn into pros. Now, it's a fine line to walk, but a kid's got to make a decision too, because kids are bigger, stronger, and faster now. And if you're not putting the work offside the field or enough practice time, you're never going to make certain teams. And also, that messes with kids' heads a lot too. Like, I'm not my cousin's good enough, but I'm not good enough. My friend's good enough, but I'm not good enough.
Talk about mental health for our children, like the pressure we're putting on them.
For sure. And to be able to even take it off of them means they have to practice all day long. Then they have no other life on the other side.
Yeah, it's not.
So like the line of being able to be a kid and an athlete is not it's not the way it used to be.
Not in our generation.
No, you have to make a choice now.
What's the point? Like, what's the point of life and living and enjoying life, right? Like, is it all sports all the time?
Well, it depends on who you are.
I know.
It's
true.
Like, if you love it that much, then yeah. Like, a lot of my friends came from sports. I have a lot of other friends, but a lot of my friends came from sports. So I enjoyed that stuff. But then some people just enjoy to be there every once in a while.
Right.
And it's a fine line to walk. That's for sure.
Okay, so let's talk about, so you moved to St. Louis.
Yep.
You were married.
I was.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm not anymore. Okay. Well, it's almost done, I think. We'll see.
Okay.
That was a really hard one for me. Obviously everybody wants, when you're married and go through a divorce, she wants to point the finger at me, I want to point the finger at her, but the reality is it takes 2 to tango.
Well, let's walk back to, like, how'd you meet? Did you meet in college? Where'd you meet? She's from here?
No. So she was from San Diego.
Okay. Oh.
But she was a bartender downtown.
Okay.
And just a couple of my friends that worked there and introduced us. And that's kind of how that hit off. It's not my child's mother. So this was somebody after me and my kid's mom. She was 23 in college. We were young, and I mean, we separated 3 months after she was born, and we didn't like.
So you were in college, or this was after college?
She was 20. I was after college, so we were 7 years apart.
Okay.
6 years apart, something like that. And she had it when she was 23 years old, and we just knew it wasn't. I mean, we were like, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to, pretend like you're gonna get married, but it was an accident, and we knew that, and we never even played pretend.
Right.
We said, if we do that, we're gonna hate each other. We do it this way, we're gonna be best friends, and
absolutely.
We are.
It's healthier for the child.
Yeah, I mean, and my girl Joy and her, like, they absolutely love each other. My daughter loves Joy, like, everybody's on text threads together.
Love it.
So separating that time was a really good thing. So
Good.
that was with my kid's mom. My ex-wife, we met, and there was a lot of great years.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of great years. I mean, there definitely was. But, you know, there became a separation of what I wanted to do in life and what she wanted to do and goals and aspirations. And, you know, she worked at night. She was a bartender, so she was working 4, 5, 6 days a week at night. I wake up super early. So, like, we literally never saw each other. We lived
Yeah.
completely separate lives. And for so long, it was fine. But, like, eventually the gap just started becoming so big that when we would hang out, like the jokes amongst our friends that she wouldn't even get, and, you know, things that I wouldn't get in her life. And there was no way to like close that gap anymore
Right.
because
You're
it
like
just
literally living separate lives.
completely separate lives. And it just got so big that I was like, one day it's just like, I can't do this anymore. And at first she didn't like that idea, but after she understood, like, you're right, we do live completely separate lives.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way, even if you stop working at night or this, we'd have to go backwards 6 years to even make back up, to even understand how each other's grown in between those time periods.
Totally.
Because we never even talked, even went home, because we never had time to. We probably saw each other 16 hours awake a week.
So you hear that with some marriages. It's like ships passing in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And it can end up that way.
Yeah.
What
I
were
wasn't
you
going to
doing?
live like that.
No, and that's a choice,
Yeah.
right? Like, is your daughter living with you full time, or are you guys
No, 50-50.
50-50?
Yeah.
What were you doing at that time for work?
So at that time when we first met, I had my own company as a marketing agency. So before that, I was one of the first people at Club Fitness. I was in the fitness space for a long time, and then left that. I was one of the first general managers, first regional managers. Helped them go from 2 locations to 25 at the time back then.
Awesome. Good for
Left
you.
to start a marketing company. And the owners that no longer exist, you know, they passed away. They said, since you worked so hard for us, take over our marketing. So they were my first client at that time. So then
Awesome.
I found like a space in the fitness world of doing marketing for the fitness world.
Awesome.
So that's where I was working at the time when that happened. Me and my business partner separated. So he owned more of the company than I did. His dad put all the money in. But I had one path for the company. He had a different path he wanted to go with the company. And, you know, he was one of my first friends when I moved here in 4th grade. And if we didn't separate, we would have never liked each other again. And we sat down one day. We said, look, you either buy me out or I buy you out. We're not splitting the clients because that looks like a divided front.
Right.
We want the clients to go with whoever does it because
Right.
trying to build 2 separate companies off one, like it's just, I said, I'm not even trying to do that.
Right.
So I took a payout and left and started working for a software company.
Okay.
Kind of humbled myself down to, I literally turned myself into a telephone rep in a cancel department at Yellow Pages. Went from owning a business for 12 years to separating and
12 years. Wow.
and then going into this. And, you know, most people wouldn't have been able to do that. I made the switch immediately. I was in there for 4 months and they moved me up to a director. A manager of a specialty team, then moved me into an outside sales director. And the guy that was in charge of me was like, you were the fastest moving person in the entire company ever in history, basically. Nobody's got promoted that fast. Enjoyed it. Met a lot of awesome people. And honestly, working for that company, they turned into a company called Thrive. I had a vision for what I want New Age to be. And not just New Age. Like, you know, we have a lot bigger visions than just New Age. That's the first part of it. You know, we want to put other brands underneath us and help us scale those brands.
Yeah.
But I owned a business for so long, but I didn't know how to scale a business to the size that we want to make this company. Like there was a big gap in between that process because being a small business trying to turn into a medium size to trying to turn a large size to an enterprise, there's a pathway you have to go down to and different departments you have to create and different systems and technology that I had no idea that was how you get to this spot. But there was a guy that was a chief revenue officer, his name was Jim McCusker, that was at Thrive. And he kind of just took me under his wing. Like he had no reason to. This guy was in charge of a $5 billion company. And like right when they bought us out, like for some reason, the first day that they came to St. Louis, they put us to this training, and we just connected and bonded. And like, he was my mentor that I got to talk to about everything in business and how to scale a business and what departments you can do. How do you run the sales? And that's kind of like the same pathway that we've been following over here. You know, we've started building these different parts of the company to be able to scale it to be the size that we need to be able to do. And that's what we're doing right now.
Amazing. And I definitely want to get into New Age, like deep into it. I would love the listeners to learn more about that. But I want to go back to your personal life because I know you've gone through some personal struggles.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to where you want to start, share.
Well, I have no problem sharing all of them, you know,
Okay.
so you ask the questions.
So I remember hearing on the Zach and Pat show that you had an incident at the Lake of the Ozarks.
I did.
Where in your timeline of life was that, and how'd that affect who you are today?
So that was 7 years ago. We were walking back to my boat, and it's still, you know, going on right now. But we was walking back to our boat. Just got done playing golf. We got there. It was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Just ate some food with some friends. Walking back to the boat, and the dock shattered beneath my feet. I broke my ankle, broke my elbow, broke my neck, broke my back, and during that time period, it honestly was one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me in my entire life.
Well, yeah.
You know, I woke up the next day and I couldn't straighten my leg.
Were you in the hospital, assuming?
No, I didn't go to the hospital afterwards. You know, you have 48 hours to report in.
Time out. You broke all those parts.
I didn't, yeah, but I didn't know they were all broke at that time. And
did you like fall in the water or like?
No, so I got like stuck in the dock, and I guess I have no memory of this part. I had guys around me. They tell me I muscled up and pulled myself back out because my leg was so, like, it was scraped it down to the bone. If I like had something in my arms trying to stop it, like picture if I had a phone or something that I wasn't trying to like have hit and just didn't let my body go in, I'd have broke my shin bone in half on the rebar that was below it. But I let my body go in and it scraped my leg down, and I guess I muscled up my way back, and I just laid backwards on the dock and just was staring up. And then I remember some friends come over the top of me like, "You're all right, you're all right." I'm like, I guess, what are we doing? You know, I didn't fully understand what was going on at the time. They patched me up, patched my leg up. You know, I was walking off. You know, I was like, I said, don't get an ambulance. Like, I'm going back. I'm going back to the condo. I'm gonna relax.
You walked, or they like carried
I mean,
you?
I was wrapped. My leg was wrapped. So I mean, walking is a loose term. But
Yeah.
you know, I went back to the boat. They took me back to the house. I just sat on the dock with my leg kicked up.
Were you in extreme pain?
It was.
Had you
But
been
like
drinking?
I was, but it wasn't. The next day is when the pain started. Right at that time, I was like, you know, I'm not thinking anything about my back and my neck. You know, I mean, they were sore, but it wasn't like, oh my God, they're broke type thing. My elbow, honestly, at the time, my elbow was huge. That was the one I was like, all right, this one doesn't feel good whatsoever. And then my ankle was all bruised up, but I've, you know, you play hockey, you get hit with hockey pucks in your feet. You're just like, okay, that's my foot. It is what it is.
Yeah, y'all are a whole nother breed. I'm just learning more about this because St. Louis is a huge hockey town.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with hockey in any way, shape, or form, but I'm learning.
Yeah, I mean, one of the coolest pictures, me saw, Jack Hughes biting a gold medal with blood coming off his tooth that he got knocked out that day. I was like, if that doesn't just show you what that is.
Totally.
It was awesome.
I've never been to a St. Louis or a Blues hockey game. I'm dying to go.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to.
I know. It's like everyone's like, it's such an experience.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know. It's on my to-do list. So had you guys been like partying?
No, I mean, we had just been playing golf that day.
Okay.
You know, so
Yeah.
we weren't like at a pool party hanging out all
Right.
day. Like we
Right.
had played golf.
Yeah.
So a buddy of mine's dad puts on a golf tournament every single year down there. Been doing it for like 37 years. It's 3 days in a row. You wake up at 7 o'clock every single morning. You know, by the last day, waking up because you're on the golf course by 7. You're up by 5:30 by Sunday. You're like, I gotta get up at 5:30 again. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? But it's so much fun. We've been doing it for so long. So no, we were playing golf all day. Took the boat over there to eat. We weren't even like, I don't even know if we were in bathing suits. Like we were like in golf clothes at the
Right.
time. So, you know, I didn't really feel the back stuff or the neck stuff. You could feel it. I sat on a pillow and, you know, did my thing like that, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I can't move. So then we get back to St. Louis. I go to the ER. They immediately,
Because you were like, all right, like there's some stuff wrong.
oh yeah. Well, I like my elbow. I was like, at first, I was like, this. I didn't. It was so big. I was like, I don't even know if this is ever going to go back to normal. It was that big. So then I go get that figured out. They take me in. They get me X-rays, which the film didn't turn out great. So they sent me to a spine surgeon in St. Louis, Dr. Matthew Gornett, and then he took me in and got the right X-rays done. And everything came back, and he was like, yeah, you're not good. You know, that's not what I was expecting to hear either. You know, in your head, you're like, okay, I know we're going to have to do this for insurance purposes. I know I'm going to have to take these pictures and stuff. So I'm thinking, you know, something small happened, whatever the case may be. Just
Right.
get the film, let's get it done and move on.
Right.
It came back, and it was like, no, you're not good whatsoever. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? They're like, well, here's our options. We can do some injections, or we can do surgery. I was like, surgery? I said, what in the hell happened? I was like, well, how, you know, what are we talking about right now? Then he explained, you know, the pressure dropping, that the bottom disc, they smashed these discs, and it was like coming out almost. And then my neck, because it snapped over, like I still have like a bruise on the side of my neck. The neck one we never did. The original surgery is going to be my neck. Here, we'll go backwards for a second. They did 3 injections, one in my neck and one in my lower back, both of them 3 times. You know, the first time you do the cortisone shot, you know, you're like, okay, that's not bad. Maybe this is going to work, you know.
Right.
5-6 months later, that's gone. You're like, oh God, it hurts again. So they schedule you another one. Well, then that one only works for 4 months. And they schedule you another one. And that only works for 2 months. And then you can't get another one again. So we took it all the way down to those spots. And, you know, after that point, my neck was just hurting so bad. He was like, okay, you know, we'll do that one. Well, in between that time period, he got cancer. So
Cancer, I swear, like, oh my God.
yeah. So it was, but it's the weirdest thing to say it's a blessing in disguise, because I hate that he did. And he actually was almost dead. And one of his best friends was the head of Johns Hopkins. And somebody here told me he was going to die. He flew up there. They kept him, saved his life.
Oh my God.
And you know, and I
cancer
believe
did he
people
have?
like that because he saved me. After he came back, he was able to fix me.
Wow.
And I believe, like, you know, some people say he got executive treatment to go up there, as he should. He saves people's lives. Like,
Absolutely.
so I believed he deserved the treatment that he got when he got taken care of. And, you know, it's about who you know, and he lived. But
That is true. That is absolutely true. What kind of cancer did he have?
pancreatic or colon cancer or prostate. I think it was prostate cancer.
Okay.
It's one of the two.
Yeah.
It was one of the men's ones.
Which, of course, they're on the rise
Yeah,
right now.
for sure.
And I backtrack. I never asked. Did your mom survive?
Yeah, she's
Okay,
alive to
praise
this day.
God. Okay.
Yep, she's alive to this day.
Okay. Good.
That might have caused her some dementia, but she's alive. So in between that time period that we were going to do my neck, and he's going through this, my back got so bad, it was absolutely insane. It got to a point where I couldn't, like, I was on the kitchen floor crying to my ex-wife, like, take me to the emergency room. Someone's going to have to just cut my spine. I can't deal with this pressure anymore. Like, it was absolutely awful. He comes back, and he told me, so here's one thing about it, too. That, you know, when you're going through lawsuits, when you're going through insurance and going through things like that, you know, some people wanted to say some doctors will do things that they shouldn't do, right? Do surgeries that they shouldn't do, operate on people to make sure that people get paid out. Like, it's a massive scam that goes on out there. This man literally, every time I was in there saying, I know I'm going to have to work on you. He goes, but I don't want to work on you, and I'm not going to work on you. We're absolutely not doing this surgery until you're mentally ready and you tell me you want to do this surgery. Because you can live with that pain. It's not like an arm or like a meniscus or a shoulder tear that you're not going to be able to you're going to have to get it done, right? He's like, there's people that go the rest of their lives and don't have to get the surgery. He goes, but you will live in the most excruciating pain in the next 25 years from now if you don't do something about it. So 3 years go by, we're still going through the shots, and that happens on my back. And I call him like in tears, and he goes, as he's wheeling me back in, I looked at him, I said, Doc, I was completely ready for this. I said, I am now understanding what you meant, and I know I need this, so let's get it done. And he was like, he looked at me and goes, Rocky, I was waiting for you to tell me that. He goes, because I honestly wouldn't have operated on you until you were in a mental space. He goes, I didn't want to operate on you, and then you regret it because your back hurts again. He said, because after you go to the first one, then the top one, after the top one, he goes, it sometimes turned into a rat chase, basically.
Yeah, right.
He's like, and I didn't want you to blame me if anything like that happens.
Right.
So then he did this test to find out if the top one was strong enough, and the test came back, and I remember the test plain as day. He stuck this like weird thing up my back, and I was awake, and he squeezed the disc that hurt. He goes, if there's no pressure and you can't feel it, he goes, the disc is fine. So he went to the one above. He goes, this I know is good. Squeeze it. I was like, yeah, it's fine. Went to the bottom one that was bad. He goes, squeeze that one. He goes, see, that's the pain I'm looking for. Went to the one in the middle, and I about jumped off the table. I was like, ah. He's like, good thing we did this. He goes, because we wouldn't operate on the second disc. And if they wouldn't operate on the second disc, he's like, you would have felt all the pain, and then we'd have been wondering if we screwed up. And it's the best thing that ever happened to me, though. Not better happened to me, but it's the best thing I ever did was get the surgery. Everybody tries to avoid the surgery. As long as you got a good spine surgeon, technology this day is amazing. Now, you don't want to get it fused. That's screws in it. They completely took it out and put a brand new one in.
Wow.
Then Taylor Summers at Optimal Movement. She's one of my favorite people on planet Earth. I basically credit her with bringing me back to life.
Physical therapy.
Yeah. So they cut you through the front to do a back surgery because you can't get to the disc through the back because of the spinal cord back there. So you have to go through the front. So to do 2 levels, I had an 8-inch cut on me that they opened up like this, which actually turned into a belly button hernia surgery I had to get after that because of them pulling this open so close to it. It popped the belly button.
Oh, jeez.
But I got that back in October this year, so it kind of just stacked on it. But I mean, the amount of pain that front side took from me was insane. Like, I couldn't move. You're just rolling over anytime you cough, anytime you sneeze, anytime you go to the bathroom. I mean, everything hurt for so long that, I'd say, and most people know this, I don't know this, so I'm going to open this one up. About 4 months in, I started drinking more. I couldn't work out.
I was going to ask, like, mentally.
I worked out so much my whole life that not being able to go to the gym, I mean, it took the worst toll on me that I've had in such a long time that I had to fight through that for a while. Like, I had to fight through it. And sitting at home, not being able to do anything, I was mad. I was really, really mad. And then I get into her and see her the first time because they wouldn't let me have physical therapy to start physical therapy until 6 months after the surgery. So it was a long time before I could even see her to even start physical therapy.
How old was your daughter at this point?
So this was, surgery was 2023, so she was...
Wow, not that long ago.
No, all this was recent. She was 9 going on 10. Yeah. She was, I guess 10. She's going on 13. Yeah, she's between 9 and 10 years old. And I get in there to see her. And at the time, before that, I was a big, strong guy. I mean, my legs were really big. I was a hockey player. That's the biggest depression part now is trying to get those back. But she had me lay on my back and just bring my knees up. My whole body is shaking like this. And I couldn't keep my knees up. And, I almost started tearing up. She's like, we will get you back. Don't worry about it. I need to figure out where some certain things are. And I went and saw her for 12 or 16 weeks, 3 times a week. Wow. By the end of it, she had me doing things they told me I'd never do again.
Amazing. Now, did you keep your job?
I did.
And had insurance?
Yep. I kept my job
Awesome.
Because at that time I was working from home. And honestly, that's when New Age came to life. That's when we started talking about it. It was like right then. And actually, that's a lie. New Age came to life before that. That was... Yeah, I'm absolutely losing it. New Age came to life before that.
Join the club.
Yeah, but we had been open for 6 months before my actual surgery.
New Age.
New Age.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's when our franchise life came to fruition. Was right when my back surgery was going on. Was to actually do that stuff. But I I worked that other job for 2.5 years while we were building New Age, because my business partner, Jay, like at the time, we couldn't have, two people, two grown men that have families, like can't take a salary and can't do the stuff we needed to do. So one had to take a salary and one had to keep their job. Well, I was able to work from home. I would go in there and had his office set up in the back and did my other job while working with him all day long. So I was doing both jobs for, sorry, boss, if you see this. Didn't mean to do you guys wrong, but I did my job and we still had a great team over at Thrive. But
Yeah.
I was working both jobs for almost 2.5 years before I ever took a paycheck out of there.
Wow. Now, how did New Age come to fruition?
So we wanted a place. Well, my other two business partners, Steve and Kathy. Steve's been one of my best friends since we were younger. He since high school actually, 8th grade high school. After college, he went to Mizzou. I was always down sleeping on his couch, and my other buddy Chad down there at Mizzou, and we went separate ways later in life. He got married, but then got divorced, and we found our way back together. Rebuilt an awesome friendship that we hadn't had before. I'm saying 5-6 years of being back together, of being at the lake and just doing all types of awesome stuff together, which is one thing I'll tag on here in a second. But, he was like, later on, and after we rebuilt our friendship again, he was like, hey, if you ever have an opportunity that comes across your table, he's like, let's talk about it. So, in September of 21, I came to him. We were at Buddy's birthday party. I said, come here, sit down. I want to have a conversation real quick. And I said, I got this idea. And which the idea came from another friend down at the lake, but we won't go down that one. But I was just like, hey, I got this opportunity. He's like, how much you need? I was like, told him the number. He was like, done. What are we doing? And I told him, he goes, even better. Let's go talk to Kathy. So we literally went straight from there, straight inside, had a conversation with Kathy.
Who's Kathy?
His wife.
Okay.
And she was like, I love it. So then we started moving pieces around the board, and they were like, who's going to do the operations? I was like, I already got that guy. So I already had Jason picked out because we were already doing some consulting work for some other businesses. And I was like, I already have the guy that's going to do our operations. So introduced those guys together. Everybody loved the idea.
What was the idea?
Well, we actually bought a brand of somebody else's beforehand.
Okay.
And we knew that we wanted to shift the direction and sell franchises of it.
Okay.
So we kind of separated out of that agreement. It was a mutual agreement. Nobody had a problem. Everybody was like, we understand.
Right.
So we were only that brand for like 5 months, and then shifted our brand and changed it to be who we wanted to be, because we figured out the lane that we wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And that was, there's a lot of places that are like, cater to men, and they have men in their name.
And this is a health and wellness.
Yep, a hormone therapy, health and wellness. That's what I consider us. There's a lot of people want to call it holistic medicine or other stuff like that. We're a hormone therapy.
Okay.
That's who we are at heart. Is we help that side of it. The weight loss, the vitamins, the peptides, the IVs, all that stuff is a massive lane for us, and that's who we are too. But none of that stuff even existed really when we started the hormone therapy side of it. The weight loss just became a craze over the last 2.5 years. Peptides just started coming in. Yeah, we had vitamins. We didn't do IVs at the time. So when we started, we were a hormone therapy clinic.
Did you already were there already clinics? Like, you bought an existing brand?
Yep.
Were there already clinics here?
There were, yes, there were. It wasn't nowhere near as many as there are now, but there definitely were.
Okay.
There was competition out there. But that's also, back then, it was separate. So women went to med spas or OBGYNs, and men went to these clinics.
Yep.
That's why, Victory Men, Mentality, Man Up, they all had that. Now they help women now, but they started out with, Game Day. They started out with man in their name, right? So we wanted to create a space that a husband and wife, a boyfriend and girlfriend could come take the journey together.
Together, right. And then, so what are some ailments or some things that people could be, like the audience could be suffering from that would drive, that you some needs that could be met at
Yeah.
new age.
Fatigue is a massive one. When you get older, I don't care who you are, your hormones start going down, your fatigue level is
Men and women.
men and women. Absolutely. And honestly, men, it starts happening a little earlier now. It used to not be like that. But when women start going through menopause and how much I've learned about that, I feel so bad for you guys and what you have to go through. Because men's testosterone depletes, right? Your guys goes away completely. And the testosterone is a fountain of youth for both of them. Like you create estrogen based on your testosterone levels. And when you guys are going through menopause, you have none in your body. And I'm like, when I started learning this, I'm like, oh my God, I feel so bad for women, what they have to go through. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And, now I'm middle-aged, 41, but like you go from, your fountain of youth in your 20s, tons of energy, bebopping around in your, this is typical, right? Like I'm not, broad brushing things a little bit, but, I had my kids in my 30s. So there's hormone changes, and I had 3 kids in 3 years, a little different.
Wow, that's back to back.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah.
And then we had a major life stressor, right? With my husband passing, and now it's like, okay, perimenopause, and you're like, what? Like hot flashes at night, and like and a lot of women my age are going through this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's because it's earlier and earlier, and so it's the talk like. Getting your hormones tested. Where do you get them tested?
Yeah.
What do you get tested? What do you do with the results? Like it's, and it's confusing because there's a lot of noise out there.
For sure.
And tons of different spas and places to go. So it's like, which one, when, how much does insurance cover it? Does it not? What do I really need? Like there are a lot of.
There's a ton of crazy questions like that. So like your OBGYN, so women have been getting hormones given to them for 100 years. But your OBGYNs, they're governed by insurance. So they're not going to be, or, some of your endocrinologists, same way, super smart people, but their practices are governed by insurance, and they have to submit certain things to insurance. Like when you're set up as a cash pay business versus an insurance business and a provider, there's like rules and laws and stuff that you have to do. Like if you offer insurance, that means you have to offer insurance for everything in your business at that point. But that means you're also being treated by what insurance will cover.
Right. Dictated by executives, not doctors.
100%. And that's why we're not an insurance-based business. Now, can we submit some of your weight loss there and some other stuff that we could send in that you could possibly get paid for? Yes, but we're not an insurance-based business because we treat based on symptoms. Nobody's the exact same, and that's what insurance does. It treats people the exact same, like everybody fits in this box.
Step 1, step 2, step 3.
And nobody fits in the same box.
Right.
Yeah, you might get some similarities, but everybody's box is different. I might feel good at 650, so another man might feel good at 900, another man might feel good at 500. There's based on your absorption rate, what your sex binding hormones are doing, what your free testosterone levels are doing, what your estradiol levels are doing, what your thyroid levels are doing. Like there's so many different factors that play in there that we treat based on symptoms, and we get you feeling good. Whatever those levels are sitting at, we get you to feel good at those levels. And that's why we're a cash pay business, because we're not going to be ever hiding behind an insurance company about what they're going to be doing.
Correct.
Now,
I was just going to say, it's hard though, like for, insurance is expensive and you have to have it, considering what we went through. Thank God we had good insurance while my husband was, he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
That would have destroyed you. You guys wouldn't have been able to live anymore.
Correct. And there are a lot of people that it completely bankrupts.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot. And it's horrible, right? Our healthcare system is, it's a mess. And I think everybody can admit that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy expensive. So, because I pay cash pay for some of my, like my nurse practitioner and, but I'm also paying a ton for a family insurance. So it is hard. Some people can't afford that.
But I agree. For sure.
And it's like, what do I do? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
so we've made our prices very reasonable to be able to afford if you don't, because we don't submit it to insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that we take a lot of pride on, that we don't outprice ourselves out of the industry. We're not the lowest, but we're not the highest. It's a concierge style service, but we're a very affordable clinic to go to.
Yeah.
But it is, but there's a lot of people that can't afford it. There's definitely a lot of people that can't afford it. And the more expensive it is to live in this world now, the more and more we start seeing that of the certain people that have to stop. But once you're on But also, that's weight loss peptides. Once you're on hormone therapy, most of our people don't leave because you automatically go back to the way you were feeling before. And everybody's like, 120 a month, 170 a month, $200 a month. Well, I'll just stop eating out. Like, you start adjusting your life to make sure that you can afford it. Once you start feeling good, you're like, well, I'm not going to go back to feeling like that. What do I got to cut out over here?
1,000%. That's what I was going to say is really, and I encourage this on this podcast to people think about, again, you have nothing without your health.
Yep.
And so investing in yourself, investing in your health is going to pay off dividends long term. Because you're not going to have these medical issues. And your quality of life.
Yeah.
You think about how you feel every day.
Yeah.
And it's a ripple effect. And so it is an investment in you.
Yeah, for sure. And if you've never had treatment or therapy and you feel like you're down, like you're saying, chronic fatigue that comes in there, sex drive, confidence, the confidence part, like if you're confident about what you do or who you are and how you operate every day, you can accomplish anything you want to accomplish. I firmly believe that. My cousin Nick told me this as a young age, and I believe him. If you decide what you want to do from a young age, like 5 years old, say, I want to be a movie star, or I want to be a famous baseball player, whatever you decide, if you dedicate your entire life to doing it and you're so confident in yourself that you can do it, you can do it. You can make it happen. Some people have an easier path because of talent and other things, but if you actually decide you want to do that, well, when your hormones go down, your confidence about everything that you're doing goes away. Right. Like it doesn't, like you stop becoming you stop remembering who you were and you stop becoming who you're supposed to be. Right. Because you're just so taken out by everything that's going on too. So I think the confidence level, when I first started, I started treatment when I was 32 years old. I was with a beautiful woman, wanted nothing to do with her. I was like, something's wrong with me. And then when I got tested, I had testosterone levels like a 90-year-old man at 32 years old. Started getting on treatment. 90 days later, my life changed. Everything changed about who I was. Like not a single thing was the same anymore.
Wow.
And I've never stopped. I've stayed on treatment the entire time. And that's the thing that it does to you. You're like, I don't ever want to go back to feeling the way I did before because depression happens, anxiety happens. A lot of things, there's so many doctors that are prescribing medicine for depression and anxiety, and they're not even checking your hormone levels. They're not even looking at them. They're just like, you're depressed, answer these questions. Here you go, here's a drug. Well, why don't you take their lab work and find out maybe there's something off in their lab work that's making them actually depressed because some levels are in the wrong spaces. If everybody's hormone levels were exactly where they're supposed to be, everybody run around high-fiving, smiling, and then you wouldn't have as much anxiety and depression medicine that's out there that's ruining your hormones on top of it. When you take it, it actually hurts your hormones when you're taking stuff like that.
So what would you say to somebody that's on anxiety and depression medication?
Well, I'm not a doctor and I'm not their psychiatrist, and I don't know if they truly have reasons behind that. But if you haven't gotten your blood work done and they're just giving you medicine, my recommendation is to go somewhere, at least get your blood work done and find out what's going on. And maybe it is tied to a hormone level or a thyroid level or something that you're not getting what you're supposed to be getting. Totally. That could be making you depressed. Now, people that have crazy life situations, well, we all know, like, death, heartbreak, there's key factors to certain triggers that make people depressed. And if those are some of the ones that like people are experiencing, everybody's gone through heartbreak. Eventually you should get past it, and they should not diagnose you as depressed if you're heartbroken, but they do.
Right.
But there's certain things that like are real, for sure, no doubt about it. And if any one of those things happen to you, I get it. But if it's not, it's just random, I'd go get checked out and get my labs checked to find out if it is random, because there's not a coincidence why people say a midlife crisis. Well, what happens at your midlife? Your hormones drop, right? Your hormone levels crash when you're midlife. So if your hormone levels never crashed, I don't believe people would really even call something a midlife crisis, because you'd still be going upward, not downward. You crash, and then everybody changes their job, gets divorced, all this stuff that probably would never happen if your hormone levels were where they're supposed to be at.
Wow.
And I truly believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. So a couple questions popped in my head as we were talking about this. One is, go get your lab work done. Like, how do we know, to just the common, us common folks, how do we know what lab work to get done?
Well, so if you get lab work done for your primary care doctor, they're not going to test for everything.
Correct.
So I would go to a wellness clinic and just say you want a full panel done. So
Full panel.
yeah, we pull over a 51 marker panel. It's got a whole bunch of stuff inside of it. Back to your insurance thing, right? So about if it's like two-sided on there. So I used to think, and everybody thinks it, but insurance is a scam. You got to pay all this money into it, but when you really need it, you really need it.
I mean, that's the thing. It's
But-
insurance. It's yes.
So our panel is $150 to come in and get a panel. It depends if we add other markers in, it could be $200. That same panel, when we first opened up, we did submit them to insurance. People were coming back in saying, it costs $700, it's $1,200 because everybody goes, yeah, I got good insurance. Yeah, submit it to insurance. Submit it to insurance. Yeah, I got good insurance. But they don't realize your insurance only covers one real panel a year, and the rest of the little markers that like you're still paying these small dollars for. But what we found out is our cash pays that, which our price is a little cheaper. But if we submit it to insurance, that lab is sending it to your insurance company. It was like $3,200 they're submitting to the insurance company. So there's
literally sick to my stomach.
right. So the lab's sending this in to make the money off the insurance company, and the people still have to pay their other pay. But our cash pay price is only $150. And I know this is not reality, and I get it. Some people would be like, well, that's not how it works. And if you're a provider this way, but if from the beginning of time, the providers were submitting to insurance companies only the cash pay cost, nobody would have a bill. Their insurance companies would pay all the bills. Now, I say that, but then there might have been a way to figure out a way to screw it up a different way. But as of now, in my head, I'm like, that's the easiest solution right there. Instead of sending an inflated bill 10 times the amount, send the normal bill, and then you'll get covered.
They're making money. Like, they're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, that is the point.
Yes.
That is what they're trying to do.
100%.
So backtrack. So this idea came before you broke your back?
Yes.
Okay. So the ball started to get rolling.
Yep.
Had you already purchased?
We did.
Okay, prior to your back.
Yes.
Okay. So then your back break, all this breakage.
Yep.
And how long did you continue with this business, or did it pause? Like,
no, we continued. We were full force.
Full force.
Oh yeah.
And how long from when you broke your back to, like, are you feeling better, by the way?
Oh yeah, I feel a lot better.
So
a lot better.
What are there services you have at your wellness clinics that have helped you? That you, you know what I mean? Like,
at that time, I my surgeon goes, you have healed at a 99.9 percentile rate. He said, what are you doing? And I looked at him because he's actually, we call him the hockey doctor. He's worked on a lot of pros. And I looked at him and said, Doc, I said, BPC 157. He goes, wink, wink, keep taking it, because they're not allowed to tell you to do that stuff, because peptides are a new thing. And orthopedic.
So that's a peptide.
Yeah, it's a peptide. It's like, honestly, one of the most healing peptides on planet Earth. Like, it works extremely well. I know a lot of people that I don't want to sit here and tell you it's going to stop you from having surgery if you got a tear or a rip, but it's helped a lot of people not get surgery with tears and rips. Now, I don't know if it completely healed it because I've never seen the x-rays, but I know different people that are back working out, back squatting, back throwing balls, doing different things just by simply taking this peptide. And I know a lot of orthopedics, if it's truly let wild into the world, it's going to prevent a lot of surgeries, which make a lot of money. And you can trace all this stuff back to money. All of it.
No question.
All of it.
No question.
And that drives me absolutely crazy because I got in this business to help people. And that's all I've wanted to do my whole life is help people.
Same.
I love helping people.
Right.
And I hate the money side of this thing. Like, it's just because it's your health, and it's just, it drives me crazy. And watching, the politics side of it and how big pharma works and how the FDA works and how people's monies get laced, how their pockets get laced, you're just like, man, there's so much corruption in this field that it's wild. And when you get down to patient care, that's why I love the nurses. They're the highest form in life. They touch the patients, and they get to enjoy the patient care side of it because that's really the best part.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you, first of all, you explain what a peptide is, and second, how is it administered?
So there's over 7,000 different peptides in your body. They're little short chain, branch chain amino acids, basically, that ever you have in your body. And shoot, I think it's only like 250 of them have been actually studied and researched and enhanced. But once they really allow that field to open up, I mean, they have peptides dialed into like get tanner, make your hair grow. You know, there's going to be ones that make you see better now. There's ones to make you heal. There's peptides. There's going to be peptides for everything as long as they allow them to keep doing the research on them and developing them the way they're supposed to be. And again, back to FDA and Big Pharma doesn't come in and slap their hands and say, keep, going down this road. But compounding pharmacies have done a really good job creating these things and creating some really good ones that work out there.
Awesome.
But yeah, I mean, for inflammation in your body, which is probably, in my opinion, one of the best ones that anybody could take on a daily basis because everybody has so much inflammation in their body that it affects so much stuff that you don't even realize that it affects.
Totally.
But that's those are a couple of my favorite peptides, the ones that control like TB500, BP6157. We blended it called the Wolverine blend. Anybody should be taking. Honestly, I think when these things start getting reclassified, that's a peptide that people should take daily.
Like a vitamin.
Because it's going to control inflammation in your body.
So if people come to you, and is it a pill? Is it a shot?
It's an injection, so it's a small... I mean, there's pill forms, so don't get me wrong. We do have some pill forms.
Yeah.
I mean, most things that we have an injection for, we also have a pill for if we want to. Injection is always better. They're going straight in your bloodstream. You're bypassing going in your stomach and processing and all that stuff. That's absorption rate, kidneys, liver, all that stuff. But they're small insulin needles. Like they're really, really little bitty, which you can put it in your stomach, your leg, your shoulder.
You do it at the clinic or you send it home with them?
We can do both. It doesn't cost anything to come in and have us do your injections for you, or we can send anything home with you. We usually, people that are nervous, we walk them through the first couple times, have them come back, and once they see how easy it is, they're like, oh, I got this, and they just take it home. Some people love the company of our nurses, and they come back, and they love them doing them every time. I mean, at this point, because I'm in there, I just have my nurses do them. But for the longest time, I took mine home, but I just like being in there. So same exact. It's there. You can tell the different clinics too. Like our Lake St. Louis one, a lot of people come in there because the staff just absolutely goes bonkers with some of these people that have known so well. The pair, same way. And when I say that, every one of our staff is extremely awesome with every one of our patients. But the pair was our newest one, and we've been educating people there to take home with them. So it's fun watching the different nurses interact with the staff on there.
So you have DePere, Lake St. Louis,
Ladue.
and Ladue.
Yes.
Okay.
For our corporate stores. Then we have one in Leawood, Kansas. We have one in Spanish Fort, which is Gulf Shores, Alabama, and we have one in Sarasota, Florida right now.
New Age. That's your business.
Yes.
Awesome. So those are the franchise.
Those are franchises. Yep.
Okay. And how is that going?
It's going well. It's going well. That was probably one of my most favorite education things that's ever happened to me. Learning how to develop a franchise from the Federal Trade Commission, from your FDD, from your franchise agreement, from your franchise manual, from our e-learning. So we built an Absorb e-learning, from our EMR that's custom built out to our call center with the leads, like the structures that you have to put in place to be able to sell a franchise and duplicate your processes, was a big undertaking, but we've done a really good job of it, and we keep moving forward with it too. We keep getting better and better at it. But, I didn't realize what it took to sell your brand to somebody else. It takes a lot to be able to legally sell your brand to somebody else.
Right.
And so many people sell illegal franchises every single day because they don't even know that. They don't even question it. Someone just says, hey, I'd love to buy some, I want one. They're like, cool, I'll sell you one. But they didn't put anything together like you're supposed to actually have, be registered with the Federal Trade Commission. But it was so awesome to learn that stuff. And it, in the future, that's where I see myself, is helping other brands, if they want to grow that way, show the process how to do that.
I love it. I'm a little bit familiar because I was an early investor in Cycle Bar.
Okay.
And so I was one of the first franchisees. It was going to open. Yeah.
So you've been through the FDD process, the pro forma process, all the things that go along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up not opening for various reasons. But yeah, I'm familiar.
Okay.
Okay, so a client, if you're not feeling well, whether you're a man or a woman, you're tired. Is there like gut issue? Like, can they come to you with gut issues? Like, what are the type of clients that are coming into you? And like, for our audience, like, who should be coming into you?
Yeah. So, I mean, anybody, honestly, the age has changed. You know, we're starting to see a lot of younger men and women that come in there. You know, it used to be men 30 to 35 years old up to like 65, 70 years old. You know, we've learned kind of over that. We have some, but some people over 70 years old are kind of like, you know, but I think that's going to change. I think because like guys like me, when I get that age, I'm not going to stop.
Right.
But it's more of a newer thing. So people older, it's different. So it was, for the longest time, it was like 30 to 65, 70 was kind of out of our range. Then we've been seeing a lot of younger people lately that they come in and they just have these symptoms. You're like, you're 25 years old. You shouldn't be feeling like this. And you take your labs, you're like, oh my God, you're worse than I was.
Seriously?
You know?
Okay, so let's talk about what kind of symptoms. Tired?
Yeah. Tired, fatigue, brain fog, sex drive is gone, confidence, libido.
Okay.
You know, those are basically the main ones that come with it.
Okay.
When your libido and your sex drive go, that's like the end. A lot of people mistake that. They go, well, guys are like, well, I'm still okay in the room, you know, like nobody's taking a jab at you. That's not, and once you're there, like if you're there, like you're crashed, like you're pretty low. So there's so many other symptoms before that, and most of them starts with being tired and fatigued and brain fog before you get down to the sex drive and libido side of it. So anybody that's already there, well, you should already be coming to us, right? And as soon as you start feeling the tired and exhaustion, that's when you should start coming to us and get your labs done, because it might not be a hormone. You might be deficient in vitamin D, which is 90% of people on the planet Earth. You might need a B12 shot. So it might not be your hormones, but you should still get your labs checked to find out if it is or not.
Right.
And if it's a vitamin, then we can fix that really easily.
Really easily.
Like really easily.
I feel like everyone's tired.
Yeah.
And stressed. And
so
basically everybody should be going in to get their labs checked.
Everybody should be coming and get your labs checked. It doesn't matter your age. Everybody should be coming and getting your labs checked. Because again, we're going to pull a lot bigger panel than your primary care or any other doctor you're going to go to. So yes, it doesn't matter who you are. If you want to know what those are in those labs, you should definitely be coming in and get your labs checked.
And asking questions, because it's going to improve your quality of life.
Yeah,
right?
And you're going to know what's going on inside your body. I mean, especially guys, women go to the doctor more. We don't ever go to the doctor.
Right.
Like, before this, my primary care doctor dropped me like 10 years ago. I had to go find a new one for my back stuff to be able to even get into the back guy.
Wow.
But they're like, when's the last time you've been to a primary care doctor? I was like, 10 years ago. So I tried to go back to my same one. They go, yeah, you're not a patient anymore. We basically kicked you out 8 years ago. I was like,
why do they kick you out?
because you got to come back every year, and they only let you miss like 2 years or 3 years or something. They automatically drop you as a patient, and some of them have to be accepting new patients. And at that time, he wasn't accepting new patients. So I was like,
right.
All right, so I got to find a new doctor. Well, guess what? I didn't go find a new doctor. So
you're like, forget it.
I was like, screw it, forget it. I would go to urgent care, or that's about the only place I would go to.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah. So for most guys, like, we're not even going to a primary care doctor to even get anything checked out. So that's another reason why I love what we do, because men do trust us and come to us more than primary care doctors. I mean, we've caught many different people with cancer.
That actually, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, we've definitely caught.
You've caught cancer.
Yeah, for sure.
Because of the blood work?
Because of the blood work. And they see markers and the white blood cells up and things like that. You know, our nurse practitioners are immediately like, this is not right. You need to go straight to the emergency room. You need to get checked out. And we've caught a couple that, very, very scary stuff too. High blood pressure, people from having heart attacks. You know, there's different things that high cholesterol to where somebody could have a clogged artery. We've caught some different things just by doing our blood work.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And again, back to just people that just don't go to the doctor.
No. And again, we're all used to being tired.
Yeah. So you just think everything's fine.
Right. And like women were like, oh, our hormones are everywhere. Like I need to get my hormones checked. I haven't
in
a while. And I know like stress can have a big effect on that.
Yeah.
And I've been through a fair amount of stress and
Absolutely.
continue to be under stress with 3 children, and solo parenting. So anyway, so Rocky, today, where are you today? How's your daughter doing? How old is she? Like, how do you balance owning a business and being a father?
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Because I don't just own a business as my father. I own a business. I'm a partner with an amazing human, Joy. I'm glad I met her in my life. My daughter's a father, a hockey coach in college, be a friend. I have a lot of good people around me. And, a lot of people say they have a lot of good friends. I actually have a lot of good friends. Mm-hmm. And to be able to have a lot of good friends, it's a full-time job to keep up with that. You have to show up when you're supposed to show up. You don't get to choose when you show up for your friends. You need to show up. You need to show up when they need you, not when you need them. So doing all those things, I don't rest at all. My partner, Jason, told me this. He laughs all the time. He's like, because we don't stop working. Like, we're working from the time we wake up till the time, till late, sometimes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 at night. And he's always like, I forget you have to be a dad after this. I'm like, oh, yeah, I do. People are, then on weekends, I'm coaching hockey Friday night, Saturday night, sometimes Sunday, doing soccer with her. I don't get to go out and do very much here and there. During season, especially not. But, after season, we find time to have fun and things like that. But, I'm constantly going. So when a lot of people want to have lunch or go to dinner stuff, it's like, I don't have time. Unfortunately, I don't have time. And then when I can make some time, then I just want to be away from people because I talk to people all day long every day.
Right. You want to spend good quality time with your daughter.
Absolutely.
Show up for her.
Yeah. She's gotten so cute. She's like, she went through this transition like a year ago. I took her to Taylor Swift's concert a year and a half ago in Indianapolis. And I mean, she's got her bracelets and doing all this stuff. Mm-hmm. 6 months, 8 months later, she starts her period, grows 7 inches, wants nothing to do with any of the same stuff she's doing. Into boys, her room completely changed, her wardrobe completely changed. I was like,
what happened to my little kid?
Where'd my kid go?
Yeah.
Where'd she go? But that little kid didn't like hanging out with me. I mean, she did. Don't get me wrong. We did a lot of fun stuff like that. But I mean, when I say that, she'd be in her bedroom. So it was, from like 8 years old until 10, 11 years old. She'd spend a lot of time talking on the phone to her friends or in her room or outside playing with them, which was great. This new version of her, this 12-year-old version of her, going on 13, she loves to hang out with us. She's not in her room anymore. She's on the couch. She's talking with us. She's doing her makeup with Joy. She's like, Dad, where are we going to dinner? We're going out. Like, I'm like, yes. Because everybody always told me when they turn that age, they stop talking to you.
Yeah, they go the other direction.
It's like completely not the same at my house right now.
Well, it says a lot about you. And then Joy, you guys, it's your partner.
Yes.
I hear you're engaged. Is that true?
We're not. No.
Not. Oh.
I'm still married.
Oh.
So.
Well, I was given false information then.
Yeah. No, we're not. That's obviously the goal.
Yeah.
My divorce has taken a long time. So
sounds like it.
We're still navigating through that right now. But when that time happens, that'll happen for sure. She's the one. You go through a bad situation and go through life, and then this person just brings everything out of you. She's definitely the one. We got some things to get through first.
Well, I think that provides hope, because I know a lot of women who have gotten divorced recently, and you just think life is over. Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to rebuild your life and ever meet somebody again? It's like the dating pool is,
I was scared too, and so was Joy. And,
yeah.
It was pretty funny. Like, my little cousin introduced us.
I love that.
Yeah, at her wedding last year, almost 2 years ago. Now I say last year, so it was 24. Yeah. So she reached out to she texted me, my little cousin Tori. She goes, "You know Joy Loveless?" I said, "No, but she just followed me and liked a bunch of my pictures. Should I block her?" She goes,
I love her name, Joy Loveless.
Yeah.
You can't make that up.
No. She, and I was like, "Should I block her?" My cousin goes, "No, you idiot. I'm staying with her right now." And that's the reason why she follows you and then started liking it. I thought, I'm like, did my cousin just see this and like how was she paying this close attention? So I was like, no, I don't know her. Do I block her? Do I get rid of her? And she's like, no. But she's describing her to me, and I was like, Tori, I said, I'm 6 months into a divorce. I said, I'm not into this at all.
Right.
Like, I'm good. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
She's telling Joy the same thing because Joy's explaining to her what she just went through with her ex-fiance. And Tori's like, that sounds exactly what I was going through. My cousins go through them. Joy's like, tell your cousin, keep his head up. We'll get through this.
Aww.
And Tori was like, wait a minute. You and my cousin. And Joy goes, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. So we both, in the same breath, in like the same 2 hours, both go, no. Absolutely not.
Right. It's not the right time.
Tori goes, just look at a picture of them. And I wish Joy was here. She'd tell you the same thing. She's just look at a picture of them. Joy looked at the picture of him and she said, I don't even know what came over me. She goes, I knew that you were going to be important in my life as soon as I saw your picture.
Wow.
And then she started going to look at content on my page and just listen to me talk. She was like, I was mesmerized and just listened to you speak. Mm-hmm. So then we meet at my cousin's wedding, and she was sorry, I'm telling your story, but she was all nervous, and because her whole team did the makeup for the wedding, and then when it came down to go to the wedding, because she's a friend of my cousin, she like drove around in the parking lot. Was not going to come in. She's like, I'm not coming in. I'm not going.
Knowing
in.
that you were going to be there.
Yeah, because we'd already like. I had sent her a message on social media, and then we were just chatting a little bit, and right. I was like, can't wait to meet you. And she just drove around the parking lot, didn't want to come in. Eventually she came in, and I was the first. I don't even know how it happened. She opens the door, and like I'm literally the first person she was able to see out of 200, 300 people.
It's a God thing.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a faith?
Oh, I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been very close to God for a very long time. I was raised Catholic.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the Catholic Church as much anymore. Now I say that, but I just went to a funeral at one, and it was, I hadn't been in the Catholic Church in a while, and I was like, wow, this place brought me a lot of peace. But,
right.
I have a Jesus on my back like this big, like a lot of
tattooed
scripture
on your back.
Yeah, a lot of scripture over my body, but like, I don't. And actually, I just went to a Bible study my business partner put on last Wednesday. Mm-hmm. But I don't tell a lot of people, and I don't post about it. I don't talk about it. I think there's a fine line of people that do it that really believe in it and try to help other people, and also there's a fine line of people that just put it out there for attention. Mm-hmm. My mom is so spiritual. I have been since I've been a little kid. I've had some crazy things that have happened in my life that make me know.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've just always kept my religion private. I read the Bible every day when I get up and just keep it to myself. I don't need to tell other people what I'm doing. I just do it. And that's I said on Juliet's thing too, like a lot of people talk to themselves all day long. I mean, I talk to myself all day long, but I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to him. Like, I think it's almost weird to me that people say they're talking to themselves. I'm like, how are you talking to yourself? I talk to God the whole time. I'm speaking to somebody else. Like, that's what I'm speaking to. And that's just how I've operated. So when people say they haven't talked to him in a long time, I'm like, I did 72 times yesterday,
When he's willing, open and willing at any point for anybody to start.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think, I think it's important. I talk about my faith and God, decent amount, and I've gotten closer to my faith recently. But I mean, there's so many miracles that have happened, like with my husband and his treatment, and along the way, that it's undeniable to me. And 100%. God's always there.
I agree.
And so I think, talking about it's okay because other people can kind of see the light, right?
Yeah.
Like see somebody who's been through something tragic that still has a strong faith.
Yeah, for sure.
Knowing that it helps you through.
I think telling those stories is a big thing. I think explaining the stories that people have gone through and talking about it, I think that helps out a lot of people for sure.
Absolutely.
I don't need to tell people that I sit at home and read a Bible in the morning.
Right.
I think things like that are just over exaggerated on social media.
100%.
I think telling a story of why.
Yeah.
The why is what can bring somebody closer to understand what's actually going on around them. If they've had weird experiences, that they can't explain, you should talk about them because other people have probably had those experiences as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And during the backbreaking situation, like you were strong in your faith. Like you never got to a point where you were like, I'm going to die or I'm going to be paralyzed or I'm like, those thoughts never went through your mind.
Never.
You were like, I'm getting out of this.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be, wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And and not just for my back, just in general, I've lost, I can't even explain how many friends. Like it's like 25 in the last 6 years type thing that I've lost. I just lost 2 of them in the last month.
Like through death?
Yes, have died.
Wow.
There was one year there was like 6 that committed suicide.
Come on.
Yeah, and I say like close friends. These aren't like, I mean, 2 of them were like my closest friends on planet Earth. One of them, I was closer to him than I was my own parents, basically. And I've just had so much death that's happened around me that for the longest time, I was like, there's like a cloud following me because every single year, like there's more and more and more and more that keep happening. But Joy's one of the people that's brought in perspective. She's like, you know a lot of people, but you don't just know a lot of people. You're really close with a lot of people. So it's a sheer numbers thing. But even a sheer numbers thing, I don't know. It's been such a high number that there's many times that a lot of people probably would have lost faith, and I not one time. There's not, and I can honestly say that too. Even go to this Bible study though, there's a lot of guys that said, there's a lot of times I fell out with God or I lost faith with God. It's just never happened to me. Yeah. It's never happened to me, and I don't even know why. I can't really explain why. It just has never happened to me because I had some situation I had at a young age that I knew. So like of course everybody gets mad at them sometimes, and if you don't, like you're not emotional enough, that means you don't have a close enough relationship that you can't get emotional enough with him. Right. Like I've gotten pissed off at him.
Of course, you're not human if you don't. At some point you question.
Yeah, but I haven't lost faith. That's for sure. I haven't lost faith.
That's amazing. Wow, I'm like so impressed. I mean, I can't wait to go into New Age.
Yeah, you need to come on in and see us.
I want to come in. I do. I want to get all my
Where do you live?
checked.
What part of town?
I live in Frontenac.
Okay, so the do or the pair is both of them. It's literally the same distance.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think anybody who, all my friends, we're all like, our hormones are going crazy. Like, we're in perimenopause. It's like, but I need to get my hormones checked. I do.
Yeah.
During Kyle's illness, I didn't do much. So he was battling cancer for 17 months. And then after he passed, I finally went back to the doctor and did get blood work done, and it turned out I had hypothyroidism, and there were some other things going on, all caused, they think, because of the stress.
Yeah, very, very easily could be.
Yeah, right. So, but since then, I'm like, okay, I have got to be healthy for my children, and myself. But I need to know my body, and even with my clients, I encourage them. It's why I'm like, exercise, eat well, sleep. We got to get the basics, so that you know your body. So when something's off, you know it's off. Yeah. And then you can go and get your hormones checked.
Yeah. And people need to be vertically aligned with their body.
100%.
They need to start understanding what's happening in them, and when something changes,
yes, that
you can recognize it so it doesn't go so drastic that you can't get help before it changes.
Well,
right?
my husband's an example. He had symptoms basically the whole year before he was diagnosed. If we would have been able to catch it earlier, he would still be here. Yeah. But he literally had symptoms all year long.
And it's so easy to ignore the symptoms too, right? Because you're like, oh, they'll get better. Oh, they'll get better. Oh, they'll get better. Right. And then you're like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It really is. It's so easy to ignore the symptoms. Let me ask you a question. 2 things. How old are your kids?
8, 6, and 5.
Okay. How did this affect them? And do they remember?
So I think my 8-year-old she does remember. She's got a really good memory. My 4 they were 4, 2, and 11 months when Kyle was diagnosed. My 6-year-old doesn't talk about memories. And of course my 5-year-old doesn't remember, he was a baby, but I show them pictures, and, they're all doing well. Right? They're doing well in school. They have friends. They're in sports. But, I don't know what it would be like, how they would be, or what our life would look like if their dad was still alive. But I can only imagine, they would be different people than who they are. And we talk about Kyle a lot.
That's good.
And I show him pictures, and there's pictures of us, he's in all the pictures still. I haven't taken anything down, and then we still have a lot of his stuff. But there are times when they're really sad. Like I was talking in the last podcast about my son who's 5. Just the other, like a couple weeks ago, was like, when, Mommy, when's Daddy coming back? And I'm like, oh, honey, he's not coming back. And he's like, ever? I'm like, ever. Like, we'll see him in heaven, but he's never coming back. And like, for him to be, conceptualize that, and he all of his other friends have moms and dads.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's a huge loss. And I pretty much there's no male influence in my kids' lives.
I was getting ready to ask, do you have a partner? Have you remarried? Have anything's happened?
No. Nope. Nothing serious. I mean, it's a huge role.
Yeah.
Right? It's not only just for me, but for my kids. And like when I do entertain the idea, it's like I'm looking for Kyle.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to find him again.
No.
Right?
You have to be able to open yourself up to something else, and obviously you're not there yet.
And I'm a way different person now than I was before, when we met. But it's just such a huge role because it's, I want to be very careful about who has influence on my children.
Yeah.
And so, that's been difficult. Recently, the head of the school is meeting with my son a couple days a week to just have one-on-one time with him.
Was that something, and the reason why I asked this, because my daughter went through something when her mom got her first divorce. Did your school notice something that was picking up on, or was something that you asked them to do?
So my son is a wild animal.
Most of us are at a young age.
Yeah, that's what I hear. He's very different than my daughters. So, he's a boy, and there's other troublemakers in his class. But this last parent-teacher conference, I was saying, like, I think, like, Dane does everything with us, right? This weekend, for example, my girls, we got their ears pierced, got our nails done. Like, I need to get my nails done, so I'm like, all right, got to bring everybody. So I gave him an iPad, but which I rarely do. I don't just let him chill on an iPad, but he does everything with us. And that's all he knows. So anyway, I had a conversation with his teacher about, I'm like, he doesn't have any male influence. Yes, my dad comes. Every couple months they come. Great relationship with him. Kyle's brother, great relationship with him, but they're in Montana, and we see them once or twice a year.
Yeah.
I don't have any male influence. And so the head of the school is meeting with them twice a week now to, like, do guy things and, like,
that's cool.
Read with him and talk about what being a gentleman looks like.
Yeah.
Because we don't talk about that at my house.
Yeah.
Right? And he doesn't have a relationship with a mom and a dad to look at, which most children, that is their foundation.
It's their target.
It's their target. It's the tape that's played in the back of their head.
Yep.
Because you always hear people say, I married somebody like my dad.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And so, honestly, Rocky, I don't even know what we're missing.
Yeah.
I don't, And so I'm just going to try to do what's best for the children and work with my therapist and their counselor.
What school district?
They go to Covenant Christian.
Okay.
Which we adore. It's a small private school off of Ballas. Kyle and I, it's the very first school we went and toured. And we're so lucky we got in because there's a wait list.
Is the head of school a priest?
No, it's a Presbyterian church, but like a Christian school.
Okay.
But they do a ton of outdoors. It's like an outdoorsy school. Like they have classrooms outdoors.
That's
they
awesome.
Get 3 recesses a day. They explore things. There's a garden. Like we're going to do a huge expansion and going to have all sorts of stuff. So Kyle and I love that. He's from Montana and I lived in Northern California for a long time. And like we want our kids to know, what God created and be outside and playing and not stuck in a classroom.
Absolutely.
With just windows looking outside. And so we're very blessed. That was totally a God thing. Very blessed to have found that school and gotten in. And once one of your kids is in, your siblings then have first right,
Yeah.
So all 3 of my kids are in full time. And they've been a huge blessing because we course started before Kyle got sick. They were incredibly, incredibly helpful and supportive and have been since.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's really cool that the school has stepped up like that.
They're amazing.
I mean, that's, and I know there's a lot that do it across the country, but I wish more would do it,
I know. It's really special. I mean, even yesterday I had a meeting with the head of school, and for the first, I don't even know, 20 minutes, he just was like, how are you? how are the kids? We walked through each one of the children, how they're doing, what's going on with them. And he's like, what else can we be doing for you? How can we support you? Just like, I mean, I was totally taken back because honestly, you know, it's been 3 years. Everyone else's life has moved on, Rocky.
Yeah.
And that's as widows. I just went to a widows conference with 550 widows, and it was awesome because unless you're a widow, you don't know.
Yeah,
You
100%. I couldn't even imagine.
Right, and I hope you never have to imagine.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like all these secondary losses and the things that we go through, it's like everyone else's life moves on and we're left in the rubble and try to have to figure out life with small children.
Yeah.
Without the father, without the primary provider most of the time. You know, it's all on us. So anyway, it's, you know, we take it day by day and things have been really great. But then last year was really tough. I had some severe anxiety and depression last year. It was debilitating.
Yeah.
So finally, you know, came out of that. Thank God.
Does this podcast help you out a lot?
Yeah. And I love providing the platform for people to come share their stories because everyone has a story.
Everybody does.
Everybody's been through something. And like, I was really interested in having you on because I know you've been through a lot and, you know, breaking your back as an athlete and coming through, and now you own this business and it's growing and you know, you just seem to be doing so well. It's like I like for people to share their stories because there's someone out there watching right now.
Yeah.
That may be in the midst of that, you know, and we can move forward.
Yeah, for sure.
There is life after tragedy.
Absolutely. I mean, the amount of dark times I went through just, you know, even though me and my kid's mom were really close, and we separated then, but even younger, I was trying to run a business and taking care of a 3-month-old that, you know, I had 5 days on, 2 days off, or, you know, we did the 5-2, 5-2, you know, and I'm like, I'm a first-time parent. This baby's 90 days old. I have to feed it every 3 hours and change diapers. I'm like, what in the hell am I doing right now?
Oh, my gosh. It's a total game changer.
And then trying to run a business. I mean,
Right.
you know, your brain goes to some bad places then. You're like, I'm just not built for this, you know, but then you just keep going and you just keep going and you just keep going. And it just builds your character and who you are to, you know, it's changed me in and out, that little kid. Absolutely.
No question.
So there's a lot of light to the life after tragedy, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we hope to provide hope to people that are in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there is.
Yeah. And a lot of people resort to bad things, and I've lost a lot of friends to those bad things.
100%.
And, you know, that would be the message, is just get help if you need help. You know, don't let it overtake you.
I love that. I always ask my guests towards the end of the podcast to leave my guests with something. So that's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. That would definitely leave in that one. Get help if you need help, and don't wait, you know, because it could change your life. It could save your life. And you don't realize how valuable and precious your life really is. We were just talking about it the other day. You know, the mess that's left behind from suicide. You know, cancer is one thing, death in general, but when somebody purposely takes it because of that, for one, it's selfish, but two, the tragedy it leaves behind is unbelievable. So if you ever get to that point, you find help, lean on somebody, because your life matters, that's for sure.
It does matter. I know. We have to wrap this up here shortly, but recently I've had two, you know, I agree with suicide is such a touchy subject, and really you're sick at that point.
You're absolutely sick.
And you know, like I've been down really dark places in my depression, you know, with the grief with my husband, and you're not thinking clearly. But that is like, I reached out for help because I was like, this is not happening. Like I can't, you know, I have 3 little kids. There's something wrong, you know, and some people don't reach out for help, and we have to. And mental health is becoming more and more, people are talking about it, which is amazing.
I love it, yeah.
But I just had I talked with a widow yesterday. Her husband he was severely mentally ill, and it progressed over time. They have 4 kids, but he ended up committing suicide.
Yeah, that's just
4 kids at home, and
I hate that.
I know. And then I just heard about another widow locally. Her husband died of cancer, and then she lost her son, and a couple weeks later she committed suicide, and she has another son, one son left.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
No, what that kid's gonna go through is
I know.
it's not even measurable at this point. You know, losing a father, losing a brother, then a mom. So he's lost. Now that kid's lost all three. I mean, I hope there's grandparents that are ready to step in because the kid's gonna need a lot of help.
100%. And there's help available.
And it sucks to even know that it's coming. You know.
I know, but there are resources out there, and I totally agree with. Like you said, people having anxiety and depression, you got to get to the bottom of it, right? And get your blood work done. Figure out if it is your hormones, what you're deficient in.
Yes.
Right? And if not, then figure out what you can do, whether it's medicine, TMS, ECT, whatever it is, to come out of it.
And just talking to people.
Totally.
Being people to people helps so much. Mm-hmm. And so many people are like, I don't want to go to a shrink. Or I don't want to go to a psychiatrist. I don't want to go down that road. But I mean, just speaking to somebody just helps more than almost anything that we just named.
100%. It helps you process. That's how you process.
Yes.
So, anybody out there struggling, do not be afraid to say something or find somebody to talk to, because there is help. And like Rocky said, you matter. Your life matters.
You absolutely matter.
So, well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
this has been great.
A pleasure. I cannot wait to come in.
Yeah, just let me know. Let's get this done.
Yeah, I want to come in. I think it's needed.
Awesome.
So, awesome. Well, can't wait to see what you do next and how big and wide New Age goes.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted. That's for sure. We'll definitely stay in contact.
Awesome. I love it. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Yes We Can podcast. Hopefully you guys have a good week. Again, come back next Tuesday, 10 a.m. We'll be here live.
Loose, relaxed, and ready. Deep hydrotherapy right in your backyard. Relax with your family or friends, or work out with our Michael Phelps Edition Swim Spas. Worried about maintenance? We have factory-trained service nearby whenever you need it. Plus, we're here for you long-term if you have any questions or need to refill supplies. You can even test spas at our showrooms. Spas and More, A+ rated, locally owned for 20 years. We put the in spa.